This is Susan Edey reporting for CUTV News. Today we're at an open forum panel discussion about bottled water at Concordia University. This continues from a story that we've been covering for several weeks about TapThirst, CSU, and Sustainable Concordia and their concern with the exclusivity contract signed by Concordia University and PepsiCo. The contract has been signed, but the issue is not closed. There's still a clause that will allow for the banning of bottled water on campus within the contract. That's why this forum is being held, to keep the discussion going.
Water really is part of the commons, and that we need to redefine how we work the commons and how we distribute something as essential to life itself as water is.
We live in a society where you have choices. You have choices in the types of products that you can choose to consume. And bottled water provides a consumer choice. You don't have to choose to buy it. In fact, it's entirely 100% your right not to buy it.
Two specific points. One on choice. I would urge that that on choice we keep in mind that what we said about the choices that people have to make between availability of safe drinking water on the one hand and subjecting that to market demand on the other. And what that means in terms of those having the ability to pay, getting access, and those not having the ability to pay, having no access. This is an extremely important, I think, thing to be considering in our discussions and future regarding the whole question of water and whether or not we accept bottled water and sell bottled water on campuses and do it through exclusivity contracts which favor one particular company and one particular product over others.
Here with Alex, one of the organizers of the event and our host tonight. So could you tell me why it was that you guys felt motivated to host this kind of an event?
In my role as an assistant to the dean or kind of a supporter of student life on campus, I was asked to meet with a representative from the services sector and Nestle Canada, specifically John Challoner. And during the course of that meeting, while we were sitting there, this was during the rally a couple of weeks ago, the question arose like, well, who isn't at this table? Why aren't students being involved in this discussion? I'm sure they have questions. Mm-hmm. So that led to this idea of, well, let's break up this meeting, let's open some of these doors, and let's get some questions and get a full debate going.
So I'm here with Naomi, a Concordia student who attended the session. What did you think of today's panel?
I really enjoyed it. I thought it was awesome that we brought in both sides of the argument, having the representatives from Nestle, from Coke, from the bottled water industry, and then also having representatives from Polaris and a professor here at Concordia on the other side of the spectrum. So I really enjoyed how the panel itself was very balanced.
And what do you take away? What's your feeling about bottled water on campus?
I think coming into the whole situation, I was against bottled water, and I leave feeling the exact same way. Listening to the arguments and opinions and facts presented today, I still stand my grounds and think that bottled water is a human right and it should not be privatized whatsoever.
So I'm here with Jessica, another student of Concordia who was at today's session. Let's find out what she has to say.
I thought it was a really good opportunity to learn more about the issue. One thing that I thought was interesting was talking about the 3 R's, reduce, reuse, recycle, and one of the speakers stressed that bottled water just really focuses on the recycle aspect and doesn't really hit on the reduce and reuse. I just like to add another R, which is maybe like redundant, like we have water available on campus, so we don't need bottled water. And actually the rep from Nestle said something to the effect of, if you have potable water in the building, you should be using it. And that's from the rep of Nestle. So I think we should go with his advice and not have bottled water and just use the water that's available on campus. Not just because it's more sustainable because of reducing plastic, but all the other kind of social implications of having water as a commodity. And something else that kind of irked me was when he held a jug of water up and said, "This is a great product." it shouldn't be a product. It should be like Naomi was saying, it should be a right. So that's my opinion on the situation.
We've got a lot of tips moving forward. We've been encouraged to keep the discussion going, to talk to our local MPs about getting the water infrastructure improved in our universities and our cities, and to remember all 3 R's: reduce, reuse, and recycle, in that order. This is Susan Edey reporting for CUTV News.